A homogeneous is a marketplace na kung saan ang mga products na ipinagbibili ay halos pareho. Kahit na may maliliit na pagkakaiba, example, sugar, salt, or certain types of agricultural products, small differences in branding or packaging might exist but the core product remains the same in the eyes of the buyer. Next slide po. Ang global corporations ay palaging nasa isang sitwasyon kung saan kailangan nilang timbangin ang dalawang bagay. Pwede silang mag-focus sa mas mababang gasto sa paggawa gamit ang pare-parehong mga products, or they can tailor products to specific market, losing the cost advantages but gain better market appeal. Next slide po. So, base dito, ang 3 regions na to ay bumuo ng halos kalahati ng kabuuang konsumo and share characteristics like high income level and high GNP. Company success in the global market is significantly tied to its presence in this triad. Next slide po. So, sa strategy na to, it focuses on efficiently managing all costs associated with product development, production, at marketing para ma-achieve ang mababang gastos sa products habang pinapanatili ang quality consumers expect. At ang goal nila ay mahigitan ang kakompetensya by offering the same or better quality at sa mababang presyo. Next slide po. Base naman sa strategy na to, it focuses on creating products. Itinuturing ng mga mamimili na kakaiba o natatangi na nag-aalok ng karagdagang halaga sa pamamagitan ng pagbabago, unique features, or superior customer service. At ang goal is to justify a higher price point because of these perceived differences. Yun lang po. Next reporter na.
So, base sa strategy na to, it involves concentrating company's resources on narrow market segment. Ito ay effective daw kapag ang isang company ay may malalim na pag-unawa sa target segment at nag-o-offers ng mga products especially designed para matugunan ang pangangailangan ng mga ito. Next slide. Yung market factors. Mas maraming tao ang nakakabili ng mga produkto at serbisyo saan man. Tapos yung cost factors naman, isa sa mga pangunahing dahilan ng globalisasyon ay ang pag-iwas sa pag-aaksaya ng pera o pagbawas ng mga gastos at pag-uulit ng trabaho sa paggawa at pagbenta ng mga products. Tapos next slide, yung environmental factors. Ang pagbaba ng mga hadlang ng government sa mga nakaraang taon ay napapadali sa globalisasyon ng mga pamilihan at sa mga gawain ng mga multinational corporations. Tapos yung competitive factors naman, benefits perceived as valuable by customers are crucial for attracting buyers in a global market. Yung next slide, yung international, ito ay nakafocus sa pag-import or export and minimal foreign investment. Tapos yung naman, international.
Structural periods of global corporations. Cherify 2005 postulates that the nature of global corporations changes accordingly, being driven in each case by its evolving purposes and by its extended reach and abilities. Foreign direct investment, or FDI, needs to be examined as to its sources and levels because that was the corporate origin of most global corporations. As Haley, 1999, points out, only European corporations were major investors, to be joined by some American firms in the 1930s. The UN data reflected that the principal turning point of FDI as a major driver of extended global corporations developed was in 1960. So, sa simula daw ng ka-20th century, Ang mga corporation sa European ang pangunahing nagtutulak ng direktang pamumuhunan sa ibang bansa o FDI. At sumali ang mga kumpanya sa Amerika noong 1930s, ang FDI ay mahalaga sa pag-usbong ng mga pandaigdigang corporations na nagbibigay daan sa kanila na lumawak lampas sa mga hangganan ng bansa. Ipinapakita nito na ang UN na ang 1960 ay nagmarka sa isang makabuluhang pagtaas ng FDI na naging pangunahing nagtulak ng pandaigdigang pag-unlad ng mga corporations. Structural periods of global corporations. First, investment-based globalization 1950 to 1970. This was the early stage of global corporations, primarily driven by European companies investing in foreign markets. Think of it like a young entrepreneur setting up in a shop in a new city. American companies joined in the 1930s, expanding the reach of global business. The key focus was on large-scale manufacturing and resource extraction, like building factories and mining for resources in other countries. Trade-based globalization 1970 to 1995. This period saw the rise of global trade as a major driver of corporate growth. Companies started focusing on exporting goods and services to different markets. Like a small business expanding its customer base, Japan emerged as a major player in this era, adopting new production model focused on quality and flexibility. Last is digital globalization 1995 onwards. The internet and digital technologies revolutionized global corporations. Think of it like a company going online and reaching a global audience instantly. Companies started using digital platforms to connect with customers, suppliers, and partners worldwide, leading a more integrated and interconnected global economy. Emerging global corporations. Basic element, Russia. This company is a leader in the production of aluminum, a key material used in many industries. It's like a powerhouse for building materials, showing Russia's strength in this sector. Bharat Forge in India. This company is a giant in the forging industry, specializing in making metal parts for vehicles and other machines. It's like a master craftsman, shaping metal into essential components for modern life. BYD Company, China. This company is a leader in the production of nickel-cadmium batteries, which are used in various devices and vehicles. It's like a pioneer in energy storage, contributing to the transition to cleaner energy. Cemex in Mexico. This company is a major player in the cement industry, a crucial material for construction projects worldwide. Think of it as a key ingredient for building cities and infrastructures, showing Mexico's strength in the sector. China International Marine Containers Group in China. This company is the world's largest manufacturer of shipping containers, essential for transporting goods across oceans. It's like a global logistic powerhouse, demonstrating Chinese dominance in these vital aspects of international trade. COSCO Group in China. This company is a giant in the shipping industry, moving goods across oceans and connecting global markets. It's like a global logistic network, demonstrating China's power in the vital sector. Embraer, Brazil. This company is a leader in the production of regional jets, smaller aircraft that connect smaller cities and regions. It's like a pioneer in regional air travel, showing Brazil's strength in aerospace technology. By surpassing Bombardier, it's a sign of Brazil's growing influence in the aviation industry. Galance Group in China. This company is a major player in the global microwave market, with a significant share in Europe and the US. It's like a powerhouse in kitchen appliances, showing China's strength in the manufacturing and design. Hisense in China. This company is the top supplier of flat panel TVs in France, a key market in Europe. It's like a leader in home entertainment, demonstrating China's ability to compete the global tech sector.